distinguished guests and dignitaries, and those that have chosen to participate. And I think more people are still coming in, so I will just continue because I'm conscious that we have to run to time. So the earlier program is running a little behind, so we can expect a bit of movement as the program goes on. But I just want to first recognize my colleagues that are here today from Ghana, Nigeria, Mauritania, and Senegal, as well as our global colleagues from the exploration team. We've attended this conference in numbers as the BP team because this conversation on African energy is very important to us as we strive to deliver energy to the world today and tomorrow. The panel discussion that we'll have right after this is going to highlight why it is important to give women a seat at the table on decisions relating to energy security, particularly on the African continent, as women disproportionately bear the brunt of energy insecurity, with rural women often spending up to 50 hours a week on unpaid tasks, such as collecting firewood, cooking, and washing, due to lack of reliable electricity, as per the World Bank report of 2025. Yet at the same time, Africa is quite endowed with vast untapped energy resources, and we heard that earlier on. We also have heard previously that Africa sits with about 125 billion barrels of crude oil and over 18 trillion cubic meters of natural gas, according to the African Union's Africa Energy Report. And interestingly enough, I did also see it in the report, that the 2026 report that was just published and circulated in the opening ceremony earlier today. Under those current market values, these reserves are worth trillions of dollars in gross terms. And if we make a concerted effort to unlock even a fraction of these resources, while channeling the revenues and energy access into community development, we could certainly transform livelihoods, and especially if women's participation is expanded. There are some good stories, however, that we've experienced in Africa. In Uganda, the Solar Sister program has been instrumental in training women entrepreneurs to distribute clean energy products, while in Kenya, the Last Mile Entrepreneurs program was instrumental in training women entrepreneurs to distribute off-grid solar products. These efforts are part of a broader trend across Africa, where the renewable sector is projected to create 3.3 million jobs by 2030. It's also quite clear that with Africa's economy valued at over 2.8 trillion US dollars, this could certainly uplift several communities, particularly communities where women are at the center of it. The industry as well has been dominated by men for several years. And I'd also like to recognize, and while it's been dominated by men, I'd like to recognize leading organizations that have managed to find solutions to many of the issues around transporting fuel, as well as ensuring there's women participation. As well as some economies, there are some countries in Africa that have made significant efforts to ensure that women participation in governance is as high as 64%, and we applaud those governments. However, it's important to recognize that this is not the norm across Africa. The IEA report of 2018 also notes that women only accounted for 20% of the industry's workforce, compared to roughly 40% of the global workforce. However, this is also changing rapidly, and we need to also commend that and recognize it, but we need to move faster. What this tells you is that we need women to play an active role in the sector. They understand the issues that other women face, and they look for solutions. I must add that the benefits of engaging more women in this sector are not only focused on women. When the energy industry is opened and the market is opened and widened, all businesses can benefit. Diversity is good business for all organizations. And when women become more prosperous and empowered, their families enjoy greater financial security. And when we make decision-making more diverse and participative, we're able to come up with more innovative and resilient solutions. There are three main areas where we need to involve women more in energy: as leaders, as entrepreneurs, and as regulators. The women leaders of energy companies have introduced different leadership styles, providing more role models for other women, and have been able to understand the barriers that prevent women from participating. We've also seen men champion these efforts, and that should also be applauded. We also applaud the many efforts that have been made in ensuring that we have regulators within government. There have been a raft of recent studies, including that from the OECD, from various academic projects, and from the EIA, analyzing the role that women can play in the energy sector in developing countries. And according to the OECD, empowering women in the energy sector can help fight energy poverty, foster energy sustainability, and accelerate the energy transition. I believe we need far greater diversity of inputs into solving the energy problems that face the world today. And there's a lot of female talent out there that can participate in that. The strides that have been made by women across the Africa energy sector underscore a vital truth. Energy security and sustainable development are inseparable from gender inclusion. Some of these initiatives demonstrate that women are not just beneficiaries of energy access, they are architects of energy future, and their involvement is critical to ensuring that we drive local job creation and ensure energy solutions that are tailored to the needs of the entire communities. So as we get into this conversation, we'll hear from all other participants on the efforts that are being made in ensuring that women participate in governance matters. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Another round of applause for Taelo.